back to Panty the Geeks after quite so many months. It's been a while. Not had time to do any videos, unfortunately, in the meantime. Not had time to do very much, to be honest, recently. But that's enough of me and what I've not been doing. This is a video about Moonstone. Why? Because many years ago, if you've ever watched the channel, we did some unboxings of asset drops, which were basically loot crates. If you don't know what they are, we get random packaging. They are on the channel. I'll try and link them in if I remember. I'll probably forget, but they are on our channel. It was a few years ago, because they don't do them anymore. And in some of those, we got some Moonstone models. We got the Fire Spitter, and we got a couple of the Fairy models. And to be honest, what happened was I started the unboxing. There was so much damage on them, so many air bubbles, so many gates. They were a real pain. I even had to send one of the parts back because there was an air bubble right in the middle of the face. And they were awful. They got put in a box, not painted, like I was planning on doing. And then that box got put away somewhere. And recently, I found that box, opened it up, and found these models in there. Still not very happy with them, but I decided to put them together as best I could and paint them. So I thought I'd show you them first. So this was the Fire Spitter that I painted. I'm quite happy where he's turned out. There's obviously a few air bubbles right in the middle of the top of the barrel there, and some of the bits where he's been cut off gates that are a bit messy, but I think overall he's turned out pretty well. So after I painted him, I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the same thing, and I'll paint the fairies. So this was one of them. I think she's called Freya. She was the least worst of the two. So I painted her up. I was quite happy with how she turned out. And then there was, I think this one's called Tito. And this was the worst of the models. And I'm really happy how I've managed to recover the model. So this is really a video about second chances. Models that I'd pretty much seen and thought, nah, I'm not doing anything with that. I don't play Moonstone. And they're sort of like, I'm just going to throw them in a box. Then they got forgotten about because there was other projects and other life commitments. But yeah, there's a little crystal in there as well. That came in the asset drop. They were really good, the asset drops. It's just expensive over time, so that's one of the reasons we stopped, and obviously they stopped making them. So yeah, there are a few issues. There was a hole on Tito's leg, and the dagger's missing parts that are meant to be coming off it. And that was on the improved version that they sent me at the time. But anyway, after a while, I thought I'd have a look at Moonstone again after painting these. And did read that they'd done a recent Kickstarter. I read the Kickstarter, and it looked really interesting. And it said that they'd changed the resin, which was the real reason why I'd lost interest in the models. So I thought, you know what? I've not had a game in a while. I've not played a game in a while. Let's get the starter set for it. Let's see if they have improved the resin. So I bought the starter set, and because it's got Goblin and Commonwealth in, I did a little bit of research and decided to get these two sets as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to unbox these. I'm going to start with the two-player set. I'm hoping the resin's good, because I've seen a lot of pictures of the newer resin before I bought this. There was a lot of consternation. It's taken me a little while to consider going, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. He's obviously got the award there from the UK Games Expo for Best Miniatures Game. I've seen a lot of people's either unboxings, myself, or models they've got on the table, and they all do look nice. I can't see air bubbles and stuff, but I haven't opened this, so it's going to be a complete surprise to me. So this could end up being a video of how I'm never going to buy Moonstone again, or I'm going to have to go back to them, or, well, we'll find out. It's a bit of a shock, but this is what should be in it. Should be Beaky Bobby, Vicious Sid, Duck the Flatulent, and Grub. That's the Goblins. Should be Eric Squire, Baron von Fancy Hat, which is a great name, Flintlock, and Friar Flavius. And two of these models apparently you can only get in this box set, which are Grub and Friar Flavius. One of the reasons I got this set is because I think he's meant to be the evolved version of this guy. But again, I've not got the rulebook, and I've only glanced through the lore and stuff, and some of the gameplay videos, which I'll do one myself if I really do like it. I'll probably do a gameplay video as well. But for now, let's get this unboxed and see what's in this starter set. I was surprised how small the starter set is, but there's only 8 models in there, and it is a smaller rulebook as well. Again, if I like it, I'll probably get the bigger rulebook. But there's a lot of ifs and buts. It really does. The idea of Moonstone really does sit well with me. I like the quirky fantasy. So it'll all be down to the models. Whoa, down that. Right, so what have we got? We've got a deck of game cards. We've got ourselves some character cards in there. We've got ourselves some dice, which is awesome. We've got ourselves some bases, we've got ourselves the rulebook, and we've got ourselves this part here. So the models must be in here. There we go. Let's have a look at this one. This is Friar and Grub. These are the 2 unique models to this set. And already that resin looks a lot cleaner than the previous resins. A lot cleaner. I mean, they were awful. There was gates coming out of them, there was bubbles, bits of the face were missing, they were out of alignment, there was flash everywhere. These are really clean resin actually. I've got a thing about not liking resin, but that looks pretty good to me. We have, what was his name? Flintlock. So we also have Eric in there. And Baron von Fancy Hat. So that's the Commonwealth set. And in here we appear to have all the goblins, so let's double check we've got everything. These look like they're going to be pretty easy to put together as well, because they're in a lot fewer parts than I was expecting. This is Beaky Bobby. Oh, it's cool, I didn't see all the interior detail on his coat. That's really crisp as well. I'll get that out and have a proper look at it. There's the reflection. So they're all there. My first impression is a lot better, but we'll get them together, see if there's any issues. So let's start by putting the goblins together, I think. So here we have the goblin models, and here we have the Commonwealth models, including the one I've got in my hand. I've just been able to have a really good close-up look at this. This resin is really nice, actually. I'm actually very impressed. Comparison to the previous ones I put together, this is worlds apart. This is the opposite end of the scale, and the detail on it's quite impressive. I thought at first these were bits of flash or something. They're not. It's actually grass blades on the bottom, just there. There is a tiny little bit on his heel, which I'm just going to use this knife to take off. And just a little bit on his shoe, which is just a little bit of like flash, but that's minimal. I'm actually more impressed than I thought I would be. And just to show you the comparison, this was the spare bit that I had to get replaced. You see part of the face is actually missing. Where there should be some face, there's literally just a hole. There's bits of flash on this. This isn't even, other than that hole, this isn't actually that bad, because this one actually has the parts on the knife, but the other one was missing. And the replacement part was missing. I could have cut that off and put it on the other one actually. But I wanted to leave this. You can see all the gates that we used. There's 4 gates on this. There's a gate coming off one of his fingers, which makes it very hard to cut without destroying the finger. One coming off the top of the knife. This one wasn't even the worst for gates. It was the other fairy mod. So that's what the resin used to look like a few years ago. But when I was reading the Kickstarter, it said they changed about 2 years ago. So I must have got these before they changed the resins. And this is the new resin. So if you have got any old Moonstone models which you weren't happy with, but you are interested in the game, this does look a lot better. It is a lot smoother. I've done nothing to these other than take them out of the packets. And apart from the little bit like on the foot there, I literally don't have to do anything to them by the looks of it. I will glue them together. There's not really a point in me sitting here and telling you how they go together, because that's, he gets an arm put on. He gets an arm put on, and he's got a sword which goes in that little gap at the back. Baron von Fancy Hat. No, it's not Baron von Fancy Hat. This is Eric von Fancy Pants, whatever his name is. No, Eric the Squire. He's obviously got the wooden sword that he's got there, and then he's got this backpack which plugs in there. We have Baron von Fancy Hat, who has a separate head which goes on that. His arms are on this separate sprue. Then he has a scabbard, which there is a little hole on his bum there where that attaches to. Vicious Sid, again, just the one thing to attach on there. My favourite model in this set, I think most people's favourite model, Doug the Flatulent, Doug the Pug, but also Doug the Flatulent. We have that bit there. And then we have this bit, yeah, this is probably the most complex model in the set, I would say, where we've got the back end of the dog, which fits onto there, front end goes on there, and then the goblin riding him, we've got the lance, and the goblin's head on there, and then the shield has a little bobble which attaches into there. So that's the most complex one, and I'd say that's been easy. Then we have Beaky Bob, is it Beaky Bobby? Beaky Bobby. He's just going to get called Beaky Bob by me. Beaky Bobby, Beaky Bob. There he is. I'm very impressed by this one actually. The pictures of it didn't show all the detail inside the coat of the, well, he's doing the flasher stance obviously. Look at my stuff. Yeah, he goes on there. Where does the knife go? That's the only bit that's different. There's a little bobble on it, so I presume there is a bobble for that to go on. Oh yeah, just above his leg there is a hole there for the knife to contact with. Then we have Grub, who just literally needs his arm putting on there. That's as complex as it gets. Cut off a bit and put them on in most parts. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using, going to be trying out this super glue here. It's boxed on a cheap super glue I got off Amazon in bulk, so it's worked for everything else. I've been using it for full spectrum dominance models, stick them together no problem, so that resin works. So I'm going to try it with these. So I shall come back with these guys stuck together, and then we can have a look at the rest of the stuff that comes in Moonstone as well. And here we have them, all based up. We have Doug the Flatulent. Oh. Probably my favourite model from the set. No surprise really. It's a very cool model. Vicious Sid. I'm actually really impressed by the level of detail in these. I've probably said them before, but now I've stuck them together even more so. There's Grub, all ready to go. Flintlock. Is it Flintlock? Yeah, it is. There's no real theme I'm going for with the bases. Obviously there's a lot of like cobblestone on there. They might actually get painted over and mossed over and such like. Each model I'm just going to treat as its own little diorama, because they might not end up with these guys, because you can mix and match each faction. So each one's just going to be their own little thing. Eric the Squire. And Baron von Fancy Hat. And Flavius, which is the other model from this set. Very nice models. So totally the one reason why I didn't get into Moonstone was the quality of the resin. I hadn't realised it changed the quality. I was going off my previous experience, which was bad. This is the complete opposite. It's good resin. So if you've similarly had really old Moonstone models from years ago and it's put you off, but you do like the sort of fantasy and whimsical nature of this, you might want to have another look at them, because I'm actually quite impressed. So what else we get with this set? We get a pamphlet. This isn't like a full rule book or anything, this is just a how to play the game guide, which you can download for free as well on the website. So I probably will get the full rule book with the lore and everything in, because it does look quite interesting. But the rules to play the game, actually just play it, are in there, which is what I'm interested in right at the moment. We have a measuring stick. That's to measure all the ranges. You can also buy an acrylic one of these from the website. So that's quite nice because it's got the Moonstone logo on the website. It's green, which is cool. These are all energy counters. Again, you can get acrylic versions of these, which are faction specific. Put my teeth in. These are just energy counters, so I'll poke all these out. And another good reason to keep all these little Ziploc bags that your models come in is I can just stick them in there, as well as all the other stuff. So I always keep Ziploc bags. They always come in handy. We have the dice for the game, which is a bunch of D4 gem dice and 2 D6s, because most of the game is done using cards. Here are some of the said cards. These are the character cards. You can see all of these on the website, but just see if we can get them out of the packet for a start. I'm going to be putting them all in protectors. This was the only one I could find from the 3 originals I had as well with Viceroy. I have no idea where the 2 Fairies cards have gone. This one has obviously seen a bit of wear on it, but it's still valid, I think. Some of the cards, older cards, have version 2s of them. And you can buy all the cards singly again off the website for any models you may have without cards, or any models you may have that need updating. I'm just going to tear that one open because I don't want to ruin the cards. So we have Grub, Doug, Vicious Sid, Beaky Bobby, Flyer Fravius, Flintlock, Baron Van Fancy, Eric Square. All these cards have all the details on this side and the stats at the top, and on the other side there I believe these are the attacks. What I'll do is I'll probably do a video on how to play. There are other how to play videos, but I might do one myself. That is the cards for the characters. This is the game deck, which you can buy separately. Just get everything out of there. New card smell. Wish I could give you smell vision. It's like new book smell. That new card smell. So we've got a couple of cheat cards just to show us the game. Then we have the arcane deck. I'm going to put all these in protectors, I think. Keep them separate. And then we have the melee deck, which is how you actually fight in the game. That's what all these are for. So I'll sort those out. I'm going to put them in protectors, punch them out, and we'll take a look at the other 2 box sets. That's the starter set. That's what you get in it. I think it's pretty good for a starter set. It's everything you need to play. You need a minimum of 4 models per side, so there's the 8 models, and it only goes up to a maximum of 6 models per side. So if you didn't want to buy this starter set, if you weren't interested in the Goblin City, which is this set, and I can't remember the name of the other set, but there's one with the Baron, Flintlock and Eric in. If you weren't interested in one of those or both of those, you can buy the rulebook separately, the cards separately, and obviously get yourself some D4s. You probably got some D6s, but you probably maybe not have D4s unless you played a lot of D&D or some sort of roleplay game that uses them. But you can get I know you can buy single models off the website. I'm not sure whether you can buy the single model of Flavius and Grub. Maybe they're just exclusive to this set, I don't know. But again, check out on the website for that if you're interested. But if you don't want these particular models, there's obviously the fairy models. There's a whole bunch of cool, there's the Witch in Time models, which I quite like. But for now, we're going to unbox these 2. So these are Rule the Roost, which is the Goblin King, and Herbert, who's I think he's the advanced version. I think he's like the grown-up version, the evolved version. What's the word I'm looking for? Because he's basically a grub who's turned into a butterfly, so he's half fairy. So metamorphosis or whatever you want to call it. He's that version. I don't think you can have them both together on the same thing, so that does limit it. But it also does give me cool model to paint. And then we have Administration of Justice. So I'm going to do the goblins first. So let's I'm going to put these in protectors and then we'll open this. What I will say is, like all games, is once you put your cards in card protectors, they no longer fit back in the box they came out of. However, this one that the miniatures came in does actually handily fit in the arcane and melee deck, and even the ruler as a divider. So I'm going to be keeping hold of this. So let's move on to Moonstone, the Rule the Roost set. We have our cards dropping out now. A couple of big sponges, which is the majority of the box. Interior we have our 3 bases for our 3 models, our 3 cards, the Goblin King, Herbert Gloombottom, and for the Mortician. There we go. And there is the Mortician. He's very cool actually. The Goblin King with his rooster hat and massive club. And then we have Herbert, who's in here. He's actually in 3 parts. We have the legs, the body, and the giant wings that he's got. Giant fairy wings. So let me go ahead and stick these together as well and come back with some finished models. So, just finished off the set. This is the Mortician. I had a nice little signpost on there, just somewhere to put his vulture, whatever it is. It didn't really look right to me on the ground, it needed to be on something. So I went a bit crazy with that one. We've got Herbert there. Similar to how I did the fairies, to be honest. That's the plan really, to make them quite colourful. So since he is kind of a goblin fairy, I kind of went with that theme. And then there's the Goblin King, most boring base. Very cool model though. One of the reasons is the cloak actually goes on the ground. I was going to raise part of it up so you stood up looking over something, but then the cloak would look weird because it'd be hovering. And I decided it'd make him too big and too bulky. This is before I made these ones. But yeah, so I decided just to stick him straight on. One of the cool things about him is that crescent moon symbol on there. Reminiscent of other companies' goblins. But that is cool. I think he's big enough as he is anyway. But there we go. So that is the Rule the Roost set. And my first edition, well, other than the fire spitter, we'll put him there. You can join them as well. But that's my first with the new resin addition to the main set. So those are the 3 cards: Herbert Growbottom, the Goblin King, and the Mortician. So I'll put them in some wallets, and then we shall move on to the next set. Okay, so there we have the Administration of Justice for the Commonwealth. Let's have a look in here. There we go. We've got the cards, we've got some more foam. We've got, we'll look at the cards first. We've got I can't even speak again. Sir Gillimet Poppycock, so hopefully I won't get blacklisted for swearing. Tabby the Librarian. And Old Calders. Alright, let's have a look at the models. Got a bigger base on this one. And that belongs to Tabby. So let's have a look. So this is Sir Gillimet Poppycock. He's a big guy. Cool helmet. Massive warhammer. And then we have Old Calders. Moving the librarian. Correct. Right. There she is. And there's the other part. So that's an interesting one. Doesn't look like it's too difficult. That's obviously part of what she's sat on. There is a little shape in there which will attach onto there. So that'll go on there. So it's kind of like it's steps. Yeah, it's kind of like steps. You get in a library and some library books on it, and then this guy's pushing it so he'll go on the back of there. That is, not sure where that goes. Sure, I'll have to look. I thought it was a foot for a minute, but it isn't. It must be both of her hands are there. I'm not sure what that little bit is. Right, I shall stick it together and I'll show you where that went when I'm done then. But yeah, this little bit in the middle, no idea. This bit's going to go onto the back. Yeah, okay. And she's on the bigger base as well. So I'll stick it together and I'll show you where that little bit went. And I should be back in a moment. So the moment I actually cut it off the sprue, I realised it's actually this guy's other arm. That little bit. It'll just look really weird. Like it was an end of something, but it actually goes in there on his arm. So I shall get this model together. So those three parts will attach onto that. Then we'll attach onto the librarian. And then we should have a finished model. So finished models. So poppycock. And old Calders. And probably the most complicated model put together out of all these sets, the librarian. Which is pretty cool. So there we go. So to summarise, I'm very impressed with the models. The detail is exceptionally good, and I think the starter set's a good deal because you get the entire game and you can just play it. You just need to throw some scenery down, whatever you want, and play the game. And you get everything you need in there. Obviously there's plenty of extras you can buy. I think in this there are 6 dice, isn't there? Because I was reading the instructions, it said he needs 7. It's hard to sometimes have a look. Yeah, you do get 7 dice, great. So you get them. I thought maybe they'd shortchanged us on the D4s, but no, that is perfect. That's exactly what you need to play the game. You get everything in the starter set you need to play the game. I'd like the add-on sets. I like both of them, and there's a lot of add-on sets out there. So I shall probably be getting some more, I think. What I want to do now is I want to paint these models. I also want to play a few games with it, so if I get some time to do that. So hopefully I can get some videos done of that later down the line. Obviously I've not been doing a lot of videos, or any videos, for quite some time. So please like and subscribe to this one. I know people are still interested because it's been a while, but thanks for watching. Please, like I say, like and subscribe. Then I know you want to see some more Moonstone, you want to see some more videos from Pantheon of the Geeks. And you guys take care, be safe, enjoy, see you later.